To another edition of your Two Hard Things Nation weekly wake up. I'm Jay Tiegs, and I have with me Tom. How you doing, Tom?
Doing amazing. Good morning, Eddie. Good morning, Jay.
How was your weekend?
Fantastic. Epic.
Epic. Yes. Same here. Had an epic week between our
Yes,
last
you did.
call. Yeah.
Yes, you did.
We kicked off a bucket list item, jumped out of a perfectly good airplane, and asked the love of my life to marry me. She, not only did we survive the fall to the Earth's surface, she said yes. So it was a good day.
That's crazy. So you landed first, or did she land first?
I landed first. I had it all mapped out. We had to. They had to get me down there so I could be on my knee when she said yes. So it was awesome.
Okay, so you like this? This was epic. This was epic. This is a moment she'll never forget it. Right?
Never forget. Yeah.
Okay. How much time did you have to prepare to say what you wanted to say, like before she landed?
Not very long. Maybe like 2 minutes.
Shoot,
which is a long time, because when we jumped in the plane, like the guy had to get me down there, so we burned in. I mean, it was so bad because I guess I'm not a parachuter skydiver, but you can control the canopy, but you got to do it by pulling it down and kind of spiraling down. Well, I got kind of a weak stomach, so we're doing some G's in there. My stomach's just like, and we get to the bottom, like, man, I felt queasy, but we got down there quick enough to where I had time to prepare. And if you watch the video, I was just like, I just jumped out of an airplane. My mind was just like completely blank. So I'm like a bumbling idiot when she comes down there, but she still said yes.
Where was the ring? Where was the ring? Was it in your pocket, or was it somebody else holding on to it?
Someone else had to hold on to it, because you can't have anything when you're doing all that. So they were already aware of the plan. They had a big sign pulled out there, so they're waiting for me. They knew what was going on.
Okay, now did you think that there is a plan B, and the plan B is if I'm puking my guts out, this has to be aborted? Like, did you guys at least think of that, or no?
No plan B. We're all in, no matter what happens. We're all in.
That's crazy, man.
So it worked out. It worked out well. So it was fun. It was amazing. I tell you what, that was, like, for me, ultimate fear challenge, because I'm scared of heights, and it's a bucket list item to jump out of a plane. However, terrifying. But what I made it out making a mountain out of a molehill. Like, I was literally like just terrified. However, what I have learned over time, you got to face your fears, listen to the instructors. They know what they're doing. Follow instruction, and I tell you what, it was awesome, and I want to do it again. Like, it was epic. Like, there's no other experience or feeling like it. And it like, when you face your fears and you do things, it raises your confidence level. Like, shit, like I just jumped off a plane. Like, I can do anything, right? And so, today, doing epic shit, doing things that scare you, facing your fear. That is what that experience is, just like another thing that I can reference. I'll never forget it. And it's another layer of courage that I have when I'm scared going into another moment.
That's right.
So
that's what I love about stuff like that. Yeah, it's definitely an anchor. You can definitely a positive anchor. You can use that for somewhere down the road where you're like, shoot, I'm lacking a little bit of confidence. When was a time when I was confident? Shoot, it was when I jumped out of that plane. And I felt fear a lot greater than what I'm about to do now. And I conquered it.
Absolutely.
So, that's the power of it. Very, very powerful.
Yes. So my challenge to those that are listening, like, what's something out there that scares you, something you've been thinking about doing? And when are you going to do it? Put it on the calendar, put it on the list, and make it happen. Who could you enlist to go with you?
Yeah. I think it's important, though, when you're doing this epic shit, that you're doing epic shit that has some meaning. So it's got to serve a purpose. I mean, like, I can go with a bunch of guys and we're going to do epic shit, and we're going to get some AK-47s and shoot rounds in the desert. That's pretty epic, but that's not what is necessarily going to bring you forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we can have a giant cruise party. Not that I do this, but a giant cruise party with cocaine and hookers, and that would be pretty epic. Not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
That's epic, but that's not going to serve you. That's probably going to drown you, right? In more ways than one.
Yes. Yeah, because you could. I mean, there's so many bad things that could happen in that scenario.
I don't think anything good can happen from that scenario.
No. So I will often hear you say taking massive action.
Right.
And so that's kind of like the topic, doing epic shit, taking massive action. And you talk about taking massive action a lot. So what does that mean to you?
Right. Massive action means there's something that you really want to achieve. Okay. There's a result that you really desire that is ultimately extremely important to you. And then what you do is you take a look at that result that you want and you say, what's the purpose of this? What is it going to do for me? What is it going to do for my family? And then from there, you make a list of the core things you have to do. Okay, so that's your massive action list, the core things that you have to do. And then you act with desperation, like there's a gun to your head and you have to do it. You have to accomplish it as quickly and as effectively as possible. And if you ever feel like, shoot, man, like, I don't know if I want to do all this massive action in this short amount of time, well, go back to your purpose. Why did you say you were going to do it? How important is that result? So when I talk about epic shit, it's something like this. I remember saying to my son, I said, life's a daring, bold adventure, or it's nothing at all. And I said that to him, and his mom was there, and I said, understand something. I'm going to retire your mom in the next 2 years. I'm going to do some epic shit. She's stopping work at 46. Right? And she's like, I am? She likes work. Trust me, she likes work. She gave up a firefighting career. She gave up her massage therapy business. I said, we're retiring you. That's pretty epic. I had a massive action plan to do it. All right. I did everything I could within a year to get her out of work. That's what massive action does. Jay, it's really not that difficult. When somebody said, Tom, you want to write a book? I said, yeah. I started October 31st and I wrote that book, 312 pages, published and everything by January 1st. People said that's not possible. Well, what's the purpose? Why is it important? What's the result I want? Let's take massive action. That's what I did. It wasn't that big of a deal. And that catapulted my career in a massive way. It was epic. I'm retired. I'm tired of 49. So when people say, shoot, man, like this is going to take the next 10 years. No, it can take the next month or two if you take massive action. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. It's going to take 10 years because most of our life we have developed the habit of elongating our goals because we have too many things going on and too much distraction going on. So we perceive that the amount of time it's going to take to execute something far longer than it is, as opposed to getting singularly focused on one thing or maybe no more than two things and just putting all of your energy, mitigating distraction and putting your energy toward it.
Yep.
And I think that's why people think things take longer than it should. Like, like you mentioned, a book. I've known people that have written a book in like a month, 2 months, short amount of time, singular focused, got it across the line and got it done. And I think that's where people struggle is identifying what it is they want, why it's important, and then mitigating all the distractions so they can get it across the line.
And just having the courage to say, this is it. You have one life. Let's just do it.
Yeah. And I loved how you tied necessity. How did it, why was it necessary for you to bring your wife home and what that did for her? And often we'll do more for other people than we will ourselves. We talk about that quite a bit. I mean, you did this to help her do that. Now, what did she think when you executed on this and you did it?
Okay. Yeah. It's funny. She's a fierce, independent woman who can do anything. She can do her own plumbing. She can go on the roof and fix things. She'll go out and work 60 hours. Like she can run our business by herself. So what did she think? She thought, there's a lot of turkeys who say stuff. They make a lot of promises. Guys, if you're listening to this, you've made some promises to your wife. And you don't follow through. And then she's kind of like, I love my guy. I kind of wish he followed through. They never tell you that. So when you feel bad about yourself, you should feel bad about yourself because you're not delivering. You made those promises. She was like, she believed it. She believed it. She's like, you serious? We can do this? Absolutely. We're doing it. Are you retiring too? I said, yeah, I'm going to retire, but I'm not because I always need to do something. Right? Yeah. She loved it. She loved it. Her king honored her. She's my queen. She deserves the best.
Yeah, I have had conversations where a man would like announce that they were going to do something, and they thought that their wife would be all excited, and they were kind of like, "Oh, here we go again. Are you sure?" Peppering with a bunch of questions. And if you peel back the onion on that, it's because you've said these things before, but you never delivered.
Yep.
And so they're skeptical.
Yep. And I'm going to tell you right now, depression is real. Don't get me wrong. Depression's real. There's a lot of guys who need to talk about their feelings. And there's a lot of guys who don't talk about their feelings and like, oh, that's a macho man. No. He's not a macho man. He's holding back his feelings because he doesn't want to admit that he was lacking courage to do the shit that he needed to. He knows what he needs to do. He's quiet like a little mouse because he knows exactly what he needs to do. And if he did it, he wouldn't be depressed anymore. And that's like friggin' 8 guys out of 10. 2, it's real. 8 guys out of 10 don't deliver on the promises that they make to their wives, to their families. And of course, they're going to feel bad. So we're going to do the exact opposite. Get scared and say, shit, man, this is big. It's scary because it's big. And then get courage. What's your result that you want? Why do you want it? Make that list and do whatever is necessary to go through that list to get what you want. That's it. It's that simple. Get an accountability coach to point a proverbial gun to your head saying, this is absolutely necessary. It'll change your life completely.
Absolutely. And we've just developed, like, kind of going back to, we've developed a habit of not seeing things through. We've developed all of these habits. Well, that's what the Do Hard Things Nation is designed to do, to get you around like-minded people doing epic shit. And you have things in your life. You have a bucket list of things that you want to get to. And like so many people, you know, we want to knock off more of these things, but we're not doing it at a speed that's fast enough. And I'm telling you, that bucket list is going to turn into a regret list if you wait too long, because life is going to happen. We don't know. I mean, I don't know. I watched this. I accidentally watched this on the news the other day, and I couldn't stop. I had to watch it over and over again. Did you hear about that nurse in L.A. that was going 100 miles an hour? It was 1:30 in the afternoon, and she plowed through a busy intersection. Fireball of carnage, killed like 6 people.
No, that's devastating.
When I saw that, and if you see the video footage, it was like so quick. Like whoever she hit, like there was no opportunity, no chance. I'm like, I just put myself in their shoes. I'm like, at a moment's notice, you just don't know when your life is like over, like, or you're unable. And I know people that are facing like cancer or disease, or they have like, we take too much of our life for granted, and at some point, it's going to completely end, or you're going to be incapable for one reason or another that may be beyond your control. And I'm just want to encourage people to get out there and live your life. Like, take a look at your bucket. Do you know what your bucket list is? Have you shared it with your partner? And are we getting after it? Because that, jumping out of the plane, bucket list item for me, bucket list item from Lacey. But when I saw when we shared our bucket list item, I saw them like, that's what we can do this year. Boom. I got her the ticket for it. Like, and then you're like, okay, I want to make this even more epic by proposing to her. Memorable moment. That's a life cherishing moment that we're going to have the rest of our life. And that is what we need to be doing with our life. We're designed to do more than just, it's Monday morning. So many people are listening to us probably on the way to work, job they probably hate. And we were designed to do more than work and pay bills. You got to go out and have epic experiences with epic people and do the things that are on your bucket list. There's a reason why it's there. Yeah,
that's true. It's interesting. Society was built so that you could go to work and pay bills. The fact that like myself and my spouse would be working dual income, it's double the taxes. It makes sense. They want you doing that. So again, you're living a life of default for a system.
Yeah.
Or you hack the system to your favor and you live the life of your dreams.
Absolutely. Hacking the system. We're system hackers around here. I'm not living like that anymore.
Oh, fuck no. Of course not. You know, there was I talked to so many people. They say, oh, like, man, you're living in Costa Rica. I wish I could do that. I'm like, well, you can.
Yeah.
No. But how did you do it? It's like, we made a decision. We went to Costa Rica. We bought a house. We went home. We sold 2 businesses, sold 3 cars and a motorcycle and our home and everything that went with it. And we got onto a plane, which was a private charter because COVID, no one could fly anywhere. And we took our 3 dogs and we moved to Costa Rica. And they're like, what? Yep. How long did that take before, between doing it and executing? It would have taken 2 months. If not for COVID, it took 4 months. It wasn't a big deal. So here's the crazy thing. A buddy of mine said, Tom, do you think it's possible for me? I said, I already did it. It's easy. He said, no, seriously. I said, yeah, it's easy. And sure enough, he's in Costa Rica as well. He goes, that was the best move I ever made. He says, it was not difficult. People make these things a big deal. But when you formulate a plan, you say, this is what I want for my life in the next 2 to 5 years. Exactly, in detail. I want to drive this car. I want this trust fund for my kids. I want this position for my wife, this position for me. This is where I want to live. And you just put in your mind in detail. You create this epic story, this epic movie, and you write it down and you have it on paper. You're going to go one of 2 ways. You're either going to be scared shitless and say, that's not for me. I don't have the courage to do it. Or you're going to get excited. And if you get excited about it and say, like, shit, this is possible. Like, I really want this, and it motivates you. Then guess what happens? All you got to do is make that list. Why is this necessary? Make that list and then get that person. Jay, I want you to hold this proverbial gun to my head. I need to do this list. All I'm asking you to do is help me with this list. You tell your kids, you tell your family, they're going to think you're wacko. You're not going to think they're wacko because you've seen it and you've done it. And guess what? You go through the list with a sense of desperation. I need to do this as quickly as possible. And then guess what happens? There's a greater chance of it getting done than doing the opposite, what everyone else does, which is nothing at all.
Yeah, as a high performance coach, that's exactly what I do. You have a lofty goal. That's really when I talk to clients, we're talking about like, hey, I want to do this thing. And then we basically break it down. Why is it important to you? When are we going to do this? What are the next 5 action steps? Just like we're playing chess. Chess players, they know the next 5 moves. Okay, what are our obstacles? All right, let's start breaking this thing down. And then when life happens, we meet up regularly, whether that's weekly or bi-weekly or once a month, and we talk about all those things. What's changed? What do you need support with? How can I help you? Kind of refocus them and get them, focused on their goal. And everyone that I have worked with are crushing their goals. And that's the power of coaching and having a community. In the Forge, that's what we do. We have the weekly accountability meeting where we have a specific sheet of paper. It's like your map and compass. And we basically stop and do an azimuth check. If you're on a journey, you got to stop and check your map and compass. Are we on track? What's important? Because every single day, life is going to happen to you. And like you said, the system is designed to keep you in the system. I recently had a friend who went to Dubai, and she was like, I didn't get murdered. I didn't, it wasn't nearly as bad as they made it out to be on the news. Well, most of the world is safe, but the system is designed to scare you so you don't leave the country. You stay in the system. They don't want you to leave.
I have a good friend who goes to Qatar on a regular basis. And he goes, Tom, Qatar is one of the safest places you can be. He says, I leave my car there running with the window open because it's so hot. No one's going to steal my car, and it's running. I'll go into the store to pick something up. It's not a big deal. It is one of the safest. We're living in this illusion. Yeah. The government's going to take care of us, for example. We had stimulus checks back in August, and my wife says, we qualify for this. I said, fuck that. We're not taking this shit. I'm not taking this money from the government. No fucking way we're taking these stimulus checks. Hey, no disrespect to anybody, but that's not me. I said, we're not taking them. We're entitled to this money. Fuck that. We're going to do this on our own. I don't want that check. And she says, damn right. We're not taking it. And that was it. Could we have used the money? Bought us dinner. If we were allowed to go anywhere for dinner because everything was shut down, like, fuck it. We don't need it. We're purposely going to say no to that shit. But that's the attitude you need to take, because you know what? No government's going to take care of me. I'm going to take care of me.
Yeah. No company, no corporation. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to save you. You have to take life by the horns and live it, because no one's coming. Everything is set. I mean, it's the Matrix, man. We live in the Matrix.
Yep. And then you got to get through your own prison cell in your mind. I talked to one guy. I said, listen, this is what you need to do. Like, you really need to do this to launch your career. Right. And it wasn't a big deal. It really wasn't a big deal what I was asking him to do. I don't care if he does it or not, but I'm saying, like, dude, like, this is what you need to do. So he sent me a message and he goes, Tom, I talked to my wife and we think that maybe it's not the right time for this, even though it's a good idea. I was like, dude, it wouldn't take that long. Oh, what an idiot. Like, if you're going to be a leader in your house, fucking lead. That's it. Lead. You're going to be stuck in your own mind. And you know what? You fucked up. I didn't tell him that. I don't give a shit. It's his life, not mine.
Lead.
That's it.
That's what we need.
Stop being scared. Stop being a scaredy cat. Write down your goals. Write down your bucket list. Do some epic shit and just fucking do it. And if you fail, guess what? At least you tried.
At least you tried. And you're going to learn lessons from your failures.
My son says to me, he says, what do you think, Dad? I said, try it. He said, but what do you think? Would you do it? I said, I don't know, man. I just think you should do it and see where the chips fall. He goes, really? I said, when the chips fall, we'll pick them up and we will rebuild something else. It's no big deal. Let's see how it goes. And what does he do? He says, Dad, that actually worked. And sometimes he goes, that was a fucking mess. But you learned something. We'll never do that again. And that's it.
Yeah, I do my one-on-one coaching sessions before this call with my coach. We had that same conversation. I was just kind of overanalyzing a component of my business. He's like, just make the offer and put it out there. Like, what do you have to lose? You're like, the market will tell you. Exactly. So what do you like? Quit overanalyzing things. And that I overanalyze, and I think a lot of people do that, which is, why having a coach or mentor to help guide you and steer you and get you out of your own shell is incredibly important. Yeah, because we are our own worst enemy.
Definitely. And the reason why you probably didn't put that offer out was because the moment you put it out and somebody says no and everyone says no, you just lost hope. Because if you don't put it out there, you always have hope. Maybe one day when it's perfect, this will work. Yeah. But the moment you put it out and nobody likes it, like, shit, I lost my hope. No, you didn't. You lost one way to make it. The market says it's not a good idea. It wasn't going to be a good idea 2 years from now. So now you can tweak it so that it is right. Okay, your price point was off. Yeah. Maybe you need to change the price point. Maybe you need to do some more marketing. But you learn from that and you get some feedback. So what, you lose hope. You gain insight and you make a change. That's the worst thing you do.
And a lot of people do that because they have it in their mind and it's safe up here, even though they're not taking action on it. And then as soon as they take it out here and they offer judgments, maybe they get neglected or turned down. And like you said, poof, it just up and vanishes like a fart in the wind.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like a fart in the wind. And then what happens is you're struggling and you're not paying your bills. You're not living the life of the dreams. Yeah. And like, shoot, man, there's a stimulus coming down from Joe Biden. We really need that to fix our fridge and pay our bills. Like, dude, if you want to live your life like that, you're done.
Yeah. Well, you can choose your own adventure in life, and that's a way to live. And I'm on your camp. I'd like to opt out of all of. I don't need any. I don't want any of that. Thank you.
No, man, I'm scared shitless for my kids. I'm like, you guys don't realize just how bad it's going to get. Okay, and they're like, no, Dad, that's not true. Well, look at 2 years ago and look at now. It's a lot worse than what it was. Yeah. This is real shit, and it's not going to get any better anytime soon. You can't even buy a house these days.
Man, I saw a commercial. I don't want to go off on a political tangent here, but I saw a commercial the other day by a prominent political party in our country. And it was basically like, you're on that side or you're on this side with us. I was like, I've heard that talk, on talk radio, but to see an actual commercial like that raised the hair on the back of my neck. I'm like, that's
pretty divisive.
We're going down a very divisive path, and it's worries me a little bit. Worries me in the fact that I'm scared for my family, my children, and what we're going to have going forward. However, with that said, I can't control it. All I can do is control what I can control the controllables, show up the best version of myself, vote, do what I can to, but we're in a bad way in our country. And the Do Hard Things Nation, what we're trying to do here, the mission is to help people unlock their highest potential, help you unplug from the matrix, get after your own goals, and step up to be the role models and leaders that our country desperately needs. That's what we're doing here. So,
yeah, big time. So who's our winner for this awesome shirt?
So speaking of incredible leaders who inspire me, let me share my screen here. Oh, hang on a second. I'm in a different location every week, it seems, and I got to get my systems in place. So hang on a second. I'm sharing my screen. It's not showing up. Oh, hang on. You can see this screen. Can you see? You can't see. Hang on. All right. Give me a second. Buy me some time, Tom.
Yeah, man. So as an audience, all I'm saying is write down your list. Figure out what you really want in your life. And why do you want it? And write down that list. And then just sit on it for a moment, because you're gonna be on the fence with it. And just say, shoot, man, like I really want to do this. I really want to do it. And then when you're ready, press that button, pull the trigger, enlist Jay for some help, whoever else is in your life, and just take action. But the moment you take action, it's pedal to the metal, and you're going and you're doing it. Okay. So if you're hesitant in any way, just put it out there. Let one of us know, let somebody significant know, and just say, I'm doing it. I'm going to do this. And then let's get to it. And I'll tell you right now, if you don't succeed, you're at least going to gain some valuable insight into yourself and your capabilities, and you're going to be so much further ahead. That's called the School of Hard Knocks. It's the best education you could ever have. So my recommendation is do it anyway, even if you fail, because there is no failure. You're going to get further ahead in some capacity or another. Just do it. It'll be the best thing you've ever done. Success or not quite success, it'll still be worth it.
Absolutely. I that just do it, right? That was a epic marketing campaign by Nike, and it's just right. It's just do the thing. Okay, here we go. I think I got it now. Finally, I don't know why this thing's acting up. So apologize for that. So this week's winner. Do you see Stephanie there?
I do. I see two of them.
This is Stephanie Valdivia. I don't know. I'm on one screen, so I apologize for how this looks. Let me see if I can. There we go. All right, so this is Stephanie Valdivia. She's a dear friend of mine. She's a power athlete coach. But one of the reasons that I nominating and recognizing her this week is that she is doing epic shit in her own career by taking the leap of faith to become a school teacher. Her path is to be a principal. She works in the Lakeway School District here in Missouri, and she's been the after-school program director, and she's working on getting her credentials to become a principal. But she's hit a huge milestone by becoming the business. She's the business and entrepreneur teacher at school. And as soon as the kids found out, they didn't even know what she was teaching. They were just like, we want to sign up with Stephanie because she's making such a great impact with the kids there. She doesn't have to do this, but even during the summer, she teaches the strength and conditioning class there. And she's up and at them at 6:30 in the morning, all during the summer. And the kids get themselves up and they get themselves at school, and they're there with her. She's a role model. She's out there getting after it herself. She's blazing a trail for her and her family and doing hard things. She's an awesome mother of two, constantly volunteering. She's a wife of a former Marine and law enforcement official, and she's an amazing person. She's always out there doing hard things. So this week's winner is Stephanie Valdivia. Do epic shit, and she's out there doing it. So we appreciate you being the role model in your community and making an impact, because we need more people doing that for the next generation of our society. So
right now here's a person who could have said, like, who am I to do that? Who am I to become a principal? I'm not in the capacity to do that. And you know what she did? Because she must have. She probably looked herself in the mirror and said, who am I to do that? I'm the fucking CEO. I'm the boss. Absolutely, I can do this. Absolutely. And then she took she took massive action, big leap of faith. And guess what ended up happening? She got the ball rolling to the point that the first step is, doing the teaching thing. But I have no doubt, you get in there, you make the impact. People love her classes. They love her personality. What's going to happen is 2-3 years later, it could even be fast tracked from there. All of a sudden, she's going to be running her own school.
Yeah. And her, I don't know how it works the school district, but whoever does the hiring and the other teachers there, the faculty, they saw potential in her and offered her the position, right? So because of her due diligence and her work ethic there in the school district. So that says a lot about you. So, if you're out there, whatever it is that you're doing, you're not satisfied with where you're at, find the pathway to do what it is that you want to do. Be the best version of yourself in your current position, but start making inroads toward, take the massive action that's required to do what you want to be doing, whatever that is for you. Whether that's retiring early, whether it's making a big career shift, whatever that is for you. But take the massive action. Do the epic shit.
Yeah, Jay, whenever we do these podcasts, I get down a little bit because it's like, shoot, man, 8 out of 10 people in the audience, all we're doing is planting seeds that maybe one day, one of those seeds are going to blossom an idea in their heads that they can do something. And 8 out of 10 are not going to listen to this message. And then you got 2 left. And one of those 2 is going to say, I'm just turned off by the message. I'm not interested. I didn't like that delivery. I don't want to hear it. Whatever. That's fine. I don't really give a shit. And you got that one person. And the reason why I'm doing this, Jay, otherwise I'd be sleeping in. I'd be doing something different. Because one of those 10 is going to say, shit, man, I actually agree with Jay and Tom. And I have something special within me to do it. And then they actually take action. It's that 1 in 10. And I'm not trying to insult the 9 out of 10, because there's the 9 out of 10 that at one point in time, they'll be ready. You're not always ready. It's not your season yet. And I respect that. Yeah. But I get charged by that one person who's going to say, I want to do this. Otherwise, I'm okay with planting seeds. But it's like, shoot, man, that's why I'm pumped up today, because one person's listening to this and one person saying, I'm going to fucking do this.
Yeah. Here's a quote. Of every 100 men, 10 shouldn't even be there. 80 are nothing but targets. 9 are real fighters. We're lucky to have them. They make the battle. But the one of them is a warrior, and he will bring the others back. And that's I'll probably butcher his name, Heraclitus.
Yeah. Greek philosophy.
I love that. I love that quote, and that's what we're here to serve, right? The 9, but ultimately the 1. Because most people aren't even here. They're not even engaged. They're out there in Netflix land or whatever, whatever pop saga, the news of the day, whatever's going on. They're just,
man. Jay, I know we got to close this show. Okay. I know we have to, but tonight there might be a movie on Netflix. My Netflix is canceled. They're begging me to come back at half the price that they offered. They're like, fuck you. Instead of checking out Netflix, go and do an internet search. Go down that rabbit hole. Look up Heraclitus. Look up Aristotle and Socrates and their wisdom back in the day, because that's a very tough talk quote. Okay. But when you understand who it comes from and the philosophy and the wealth of knowledge is like, holy shit. Then you start reading some of their quotes from some of these ancient Greek philosophers, like, man, this is deep stuff, man. Wow. They really understood life, in ancient times. And then just take one of those quotes and say, fuck it, I'm doing it.
This is it. Yeah. I love the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Completely applicable book to today. That ancient philosophy is still relevant today. Being able to detach, stoicism, freaking get after it,
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, hey, that's it for this week's edition of the Do Hard Things Nation. Oh, here's a few quotes here. I'm looking at the chat here. Love Steph. Stephanie Valdivia is one of the most badass women I know. Bunch of heart. Stephanie's a badass. Woohoo. Stephanie's a constant force for doing epic shit and moving the dirt. So there's people here They know the impact of Stephanie.
Good.
So that's awesome.
Good.
That's
Totally.
awesome. So congratulations. For those that are out there, you want this awesome Do Epic Shit shirt or any one of our other shirts, go to doourthingsnation.com. Check out the podcast. If you're ready to level up and take yourself to the next level, we have the Forge Mastermind group. We do 2 meetings a week in there. And it's a goal-crushing mastermind community, epic support. You can join for a month, and if you don't like it, get your full refund. But message me directly. If you want to consider working one-on-one with myself or Tom, reach out to us directly. We'll be happy to help and serve you there if you're a good fit. Other than that, that's all I got. Crush the rest of the week in the palm of your hand. Do epic shit. Take massive action.
Awesome. Yep.
So,
let's do it. Let's get it.
Do hard things. We'll see you guys in the next episode.